What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here with my top 25 PS3 games. Please remember this list is just my personal opinion, so it's not an official list. As of right now, PlayStation 3 has a huge library of games that it was already hard to pick the 25 best games. Games like Deus Ex, Dark Souls, Borderlands 2, Ratchet & Clank, Journey, Crysis 2, Vanquish, Bioshock and Dishonored all didn't make it just because I thought there were 25 games that are better, so please understand this. This list contains games released until December 2012, so keep that in mind and then I hope you will enjoy the video. We start this video off with the number 25 spot, which has been given to Gran Turismo 5. After having to wait longer than the average console cycle duration, we finally got PlayStation 3's best race game and it didn't disappoint. GT5 is a true ode to racing as it gives fans a huge amount of cars to drive in with the smallest details included. The graphics are stunning, the gameplay is amazing, so any race gamer will want to pick this up. Killzone is no doubt PlayStation's best exclusive first-person shooter. The story and characters in the game are just designed at such a high level of quality that Guerrilla Games from the Netherlands, which of course has a special place in my heart because of that, definitely deserved all the praise they got for it. Now with the multiplayer even being free to download in the PlayStation Store, it's not even a question anymore whether you should try it out. Call of Duty is being loved but at the same time hated by a lot of players. Reality has it that they are not the absolute best games, but of course they're still really good. The Call of Duty game I would recommend to you is Black Ops 2, as that is the most recent installment and also definitely one of the best. A great story, zombie mode and an incredibly fun, fast-paced multiplayer make this game a great recommendation to anyone who wants to start playing the first-person shooter genre. If you are a big fan of skateboarding, sports games or just games with a great vibe, Skate 2 is a game I'd recommend to you for sure. Me personally not even being a skateboard fan really, but still having played this game for probably a year without breaks says how amazing I thought this game was. The gameplay is very fresh with its innovative flick-it controls, the vibe is amazing with a great soundtrack and the multiplayer is a lot of fun with a die-hard community who loves to just play around and have fun. At the number 21 spot we find a game that got a lot of praise last year, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. I agree with anyone who says the game has an amazing world you can get lost in for 200 hours or more, a soundtrack that totally suits it and a story that's definitely above average. It's just the gameplay itself that in my eyes is quite disappointing and makes me not place it any higher than this. Still, if you love RPGs, you'll love Skyrim. Dragon Age Origins is a hardcore RPG which was also one of my first real RPGs that I played. Although I was expecting to get bored, I never did as the story, characters and world totally sucked me in. This game has a 30-hour campaign that has you fighting in epic battles to save the world from a big threat. Resemblances to Lord of the Rings could not be denied and I totally loved those films, so I felt right at home at Dragon Age. If you're a big fan of survival horror, you must have been living in a cave if you haven't heard from Dead Space 2 yet. After the disappointing sales of Dead Space 1, EA luckily still decided to give it a go with Dead Space 2, and I'm sure they didn't regret it. The game has received a lot of positive response from both critics and just normal players for its great world, story and horror moments that definitely can scare the shit out of you. Uncharted Drake's Fortune is in comparison to its successors quite understandably called the little brother. However, when you look at it on itself, it's still one of the best games PS3 has to offer. Nathan Drake has become a signature character of PlayStation and for good reason. The experience of an Uncharted game can be compared to playing a 10-hour long best blockbuster movie of the year. If you haven't started playing the Uncharted franchise, definitely start with this one, as I can guarantee you will play them all and having played them in order definitely has its advantages. If you're a comic book fan like I am not at all, you will be blown away by Batman Arkham City. Why do I say I'm not a fan of comic books? Because it doesn't even matter, as this game blew me away as well. Batman Arkham City is the successor to an already surprising game in 2009 which is called Arkham Asylum, and it delivers sandbox gameplay, story and characters which, whether you are a fan that immediately recognizes it or not a fan, will love to play with. LittleBigPlanet is an example of how Sony really pushes innovative exclusives. When the first LittleBigPlanet came out, everyone realized what this game was meant for after a few hours of playing. Not the few levels that were given to you to play on, but the ability to create them yourself, share them, or play on the literally millions of levels created by others. LittleBigPlanet 2 improved even more, as it now gives you the ability to create levels of whatever genre. It's truly something unique that every PS3 owner should have played. When the original Infamous became free to download after the big PSN hack, I'm sure a lot of people have started playing it and found out how awesome it was. Infamous 2 improves on every aspect, the big open world is great to explore and there are lots of things to do. The story is not of the highest level, but it's still great to experience, and Cole's electric superpowers are just a joy to play with. Every fan of sandbox or superhero games should pick this up. Fallout 3 is one of the oldest games on this list, as it already came out in 2007, yet it is a great example of how old games can still be good. It is an RPG with shooter elements, or shooter with RPG elements, everyone has their own opinion on that, but the massive world in this awesome RPG invites you to create your own adventure and do whatever you want to do. Heavy Rain is hands down one of the best experiences on PlayStation 3. It is a story about Ethan Mars, whose son has been kidnapped by the so-called origami killer. He will need to accomplish 5 different tasks in order to find out where his son is at, yet he isn't the only character you play. There's 4 characters in total, both with their own storylines that will eventually cross. The amount of choices that can be made in this game and the story that will completely suck you in make this a 7-hour rollercoaster ride you just don't want to miss and need to experience. On number 12 we find God of War 3. God of War has been one of Sony's biggest exclusive games, and for good reason. When the first and second God of War games arrived on PS2, everyone was blown away. Although this third entry on PS3 doesn't exactly do anything new, the graphical chaos on the screen, huge boss battles and brutal fights make this the best hack and slash game on PS3 hands down. When Valve introduced Portal in its orange box as an experiment, everyone loved it. It was no surprise when after its big success Valve came with a full game that they called Portal 2. Portal 2 is a puzzle game with a simple concept. You have a gun which shoots portals. Shoot a portal on a wall and one more on the opposite wall, walk through one of the portals and you'll walk out on the different side. With this concept and its advanced implementations, this game makes you feel smart after you complete a puzzle, and then there's even a story and characters that are actually well worked out. It's simply amazing. Far Cry 3 was in my eyes the biggest game of 2012, although I think everyone could have seen it coming, people just didn't care about it with some bigger names releasing in that same year, yet when it arrived, everyone realized this is the 2012 game that you need to own. A combination of going on vacation and shooting bad guys, who doesn't want that? The island is absolutely huge, with stuff to do like paragliding, hunting animals, swimming, and all kinds of stuff you would expect to be able to do on such an island. It's definitely what changed my winter to an awesome summer. I already know this will be the game that will cause a lot of controversy. Assassin's Creed 2 may not even be one of the latest installments in the immensely popular AC franchise, but it's in my eyes hands down the best. Assassin's Creed 2 lets you play Ezio, an Italian assassin who lost his father and brother and seeks revenge. The world is created so well that you actually feel like you're in Venice or Florence. I have never been a fan of the modern part, but it connects the story nicely, and if you want to start playing the AC franchise, play this one, you'll love it. The biggest surprise to most of you will probably be this one. Mirror's Edge is one of the best innovating games I have ever played. It gives the first-person shooter genre a twist you would never expect. Free running in buildings and across rooftops feels great. Sure, the story is far too short and there's no multiplayer, but if you're like me, you will spend days trying to master the gameplay mechanics, weeks trying to beat all the set time trial and speedrun times, and months trying to beat the world record set by the people that bought the most underrated and underplayed game of this gen. Everyone knows the Grand Theft Auto series for the controversy that it caused years ago with the ability to drive over normal pedestrians and escaping from police in high-speed cars. Nowadays that stuff is pretty normal in games, so GTA 4 had to innovate in a different way. It chose to set itself apart with an awesome story about Niko Bellic, a Yugoslavian immigrant who tries to find his luck in America. Whether he will succeed, you'll have to find out yourself in this amazing sandbox game. I've never even remotely liked sci-fi, I'll be honest with that, but the Mass Effect franchise did something with it that I had not expected at all. It is a third-person action RPG letting you control Shepard, who is on his path to become the hero of the galaxy. All the choices you make throughout all 3 games have influence on what happens next, which has never been done before. Sure, there has been a lot of controversy about the ending of Mass Effect 3, but that is 5 minutes in a 30-hour game, which shouldn't bring down the ultimate quality of the game. If you haven't played Mass Effect before, definitely buy the Trilogy bundle, as it gives you a 100-hour epic journey to save the galaxy for the price of 1 game. The number 5 spot goes to Metal Gear Solid 4. PlayStation owners should call themselves lucky as they got this awesome game as an exclusive for their platform. Sure, people complain that you spend more time watching cutscenes than actually playing the game, but that is another reason why this game is unlike any other games. It is an experience, as are a lot of PlayStation 3 exclusives, and an experience you don't want to miss out on. Red Dead Redemption proved Rockstar Games stands for quality. Whatever game they make, it's always great. Red Dead Redemption is about John Marston, a cowboy in the Wild West who sees the new technologies take over. It's a story about him trying to find some of his old friends who left him to rot in the past. This is truly a beautiful story and an incredible, believable world that immediately makes you want to play. If you even remotely like sandbox games or good stories, you have got to play this. Battlefield 3 is the best multiplayer game of this gen, hands down. Sure, the single player and co-op are short and forgettable, but the multiplayer is unlike anything you have played this gen. Epic gunfights on huge maps that contain all sorts of vehicles with beautiful graphics, a game actually rewarding teamwork a lot more than being a lone wolf, and the satisfying feeling when you win a match because you contributed to the team. It is a war simulator that is very fun to play. Just pick it up, you don't want to miss out. Uncharted is definitely my favorite franchise of this gen. Uncharted 3 once again lets you play as Nathan Drake, who this time goes looking for the lost city of Ubar, somewhere in the Rub al Khali desert. Have you ever played a level in a ship that actually turns 90 degrees while you are playing, a burning French castle, or a plane that crashes? The amazing story, great graphics, characters, humor, most underrated multiplayer of this gen. I could go on and on about this game, yet there is one game that has an even more special feeling to me, and that game is Uncharted 2 Among Thieves is the best game on PlayStation 3. I could even go as far as saying that it is in my eyes the best game I've ever played. Yes, Uncharted 3 improved on a lot of aspects, but there are a lot of aspects in this game as well that are better. The story is a 10-hour roller coaster connected by cutscenes that tell one of the best stories in gaming ever. The vibe and soundtrack of the eastern settings in this game are just so inspiring that I immediately recognize the tracks when I hear them. The multiplayer may not be as good in comparison to Uncharted 3, but it's still unlike anything you've played this gen, so worth trying out. Both Uncharted 2 and 3 are a complete package that deliver the best experience you can possibly get on your PS3. I just prefer Uncharted 2 in terms of story, settings and feeling, which makes it my #1 pick. Thanks a lot for watching my top 25 PS3 games. Remember, this is not an official list, but just my personal opinion. I'm really interested in hearing which games you personally love and would put in your own top 25, so let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to check out my video on the top 10 upcoming games of 2013, as it looks like 2013 is going to be the best year in gaming ever. And remember that for all your videos on gaming, be sure to check my channel out here at RobinGaming. Thanks a lot for watching everyone, and I hope to see you again next time.